The private sector is doing fine. Where we're seeing weaknesses in our economy had to do with state and local government. Oftentimes, cuts initiated by governors or mayors who are not getting the kind of help that they have in the past from the federal government.
As Republicans keep pointing out, and as Obama agreed later in that day, the private sector is not doing fine. But it is adding jobs. You know what's doing terribly, though? You know what's really doing badly? The public sector. And the problem, as President Obama was trying to point out there before he got eaten up by the news cycle, is that the green line in this graph is going in the wrong direction. Instead of doing what we've done successfully as a country in the last 3 recessions before this one, instead of saving or even creating government jobs as a means of maintaining employment and demand in this country, instead of doing that, we've just let those jobs go away. We've put more of those people out of work, making the economy worse, leaving more unemployed people to fight for every open job, to sign up for unemployment insurance, to stop spending money in their local communities. Right now, the unemployment rate in this country is at 8.2%. Since Barack Obama was elected, the public sector has lost about 600,000 jobs. If you put those jobs back, if we haven't lost one job, if we stayed neutral at 0, the unemployment rate would be down to 7.8% right now. Not great, but better. But what if we did more than that? At this point in George W. Bush's administration, public sector employment had grown by 3.7%. That'd be about 800,000 jobs today. If we had done that to help fight off this recession, if we had followed the Bush formula, then we'd have 1.4 million jobs more. And the unemployment rate would have fallen to 7.3%. Everything else had stayed the same. When the government employs somebody, it is a real job. A teacher is employed. A police worker is employed. A park ranger is employed. That person gets a check. They spend that money in their local grocery store or on their kids. They contribute to the economy. And yet, these jobs were part of the past 3 Republican recoveries. Now that a Democrat is in the White House, well, here's Mitt Romney.
He wants another stimulus. He wants to hire more government workers. He says we need more firemen, more policemen, more teachers. Did he not get the message of Wisconsin? The American people did. It's time for us to cut back on government and help the American people.
Democrats have wanted to give state and local governments money to hire more teachers and policemen and park rangers. Mitt Romney is right about that. Republicans have blocked them. As you heard Mitt Romney say, Republicans don't believe in hiring more government workers. They don't believe in stimulus. They believe it's time to cut back on government, as he put it. This is a new belief on their part. It's not just this graph that shows Republicans usually increase government jobs when they're the ones in power during recession. It's also Republican President Richard Nixon who famously declared that we are all Keynesians now. It's Ronald Reagan implementing stimulative deficit finance tax cuts and increasing government spending in the 1980s. It's George W. Bush passing what was called, literally titled, the Economic Stimulus Act of 2008. It's Republicans right at the beginning of the Obama administration proposing a variety of stimulus measures which had the same basic idea: deficit spending, usually on tax cuts to goose the economy. But now that President Obama is pleading with Republicans to act in a way that they have acted for decades during the worst recession or continued downturn since the Great Depression, they say they don't believe in that stuff anymore. They say it's time to cut government spending. They say the only thing that will get the economy moving again is getting government out of the way. But the thing that's really remarkable here, they don't believe that. One thing you might worry about with a Romney administration is that they would come in and slash the budget immediately, slash public employment, slash government spending. It's what they seem to be saying, right? But they're not going to do any of those things, not one. And I don't know that because I have some secret insight into Mitt Romney. I don't know it because I looked deep into his heart and came away realizing that he truly, truly believes government spending is necessary during an economic slowdown. I know that because I just listened to what he said when he was asked. When Mark Halperin of Time magazine asked Mitt Romney recently why he wouldn't just dramatically cut government spending his first year of office in 2013, why he wouldn't slash government spending by, say, $1 trillion if government spending is truly the thing that's holding the economy back, here's how Mitt Romney responded, quote, well, because if you take $1 trillion, for instance, out of the first year of the federal budget, that would shrink GDP over 5%. That is by definition throwing us into recession or depression. So I'm not going to do that, of course. Of course. You could not have gotten a better definition of Keynesian budgeting from President Obama. You probably could have gotten one from Keynes. Take money out of the federal budget, and in the short term, in the immediate term, you take money out of the economy. You reduce demand, you slow growth. The government should spend and hire during recessions. That's the thing. That's one of the things that helps end them. Republicans know that. Well, at least they know that when they're the ones in power.